Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you here, and thank you for joining us. My name is Amr Al-Sawi, and I'm the president and CEO of Noblis. We're a science and technology company, and you're going to see a lot of really interesting conversations today about a very important topic, and that's the whole topic of autonomy and autonomous operations. For those of you who have not participated in those events before, they're really intended to share ideas and share knowledge, but also be interactive. We'll have lots of time for you to interact with the panel and the speakers and so forth. But let me start off by setting a little context for you, and basically it starts in 1902. Where Wilbur and Orville Wright were trying to figure out how to fly. And what did they do that was different from everybody else? They spent an enormous amount of time thinking, watching birds, watching their flight, doing lots of experimentation, failing a whole lot of times. And as you look at the image that's there, I'm gonna play it for you and let you watch a little bit and think about it in the context of autonomous operations. For those of you who have not seen this before, these are starlings, and the effect is called murmurings. And think about that in terms of autonomous operations. Those could be drones, those could be cars that are orchestrating things. There could be sensors orchestrating stuff. It could be lots of mobile devices doing their own thing, things that we haven't imagined yet. And if you think about those kinds of maneuvers with that kind of density, at those kinds of speed, with that kind of agility, tremendous amount of trust is required in order to do that. What happens if that gets disrupted? How does it get reconnected? How does the system reset itself? What kind of detection capabilities do they have? What kind of metrics do you have for trust and communicating that at the speeds that are required in order for you to actually execute an operation? Right, so think about that, and so we do, and the reason that I wanted to set the stage the way I did is because if you think about building autonomous systems and autonomous operations and driving to autonomous operations, whether it is to increase capacity, reduce delays, increase the utility of certain economic assets that you want, deliver things with efficiency, at the top of the chart you see I have user trust. User trust becomes extremely important in areas where you're moving at the speeds that we're talking about. And so you need trust to maintain operational integrity. You need trust in order to maintain application trust and interoperability. At the next level, you have to think about the design requirements, and the design requirements with all the abilities that you can think about have to support that. And then you need to understand the context in the domain, whether it's air, sea, surface, or cyberspace. And then finally, you have to have an infrastructure that can support those operations and support the requirements. And so at every single level, as you think about autonomous operations, you have to do it from a systems perspective, but you also have to have a policy context that sets it apart and enables, if you will, the operations across the board. So for today, we have a wonderful program with very accomplished speakers and panelists across the board, and it really is my pleasure to start us off with at the policy level, if you will, and I want to welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Finch Fulton, who is the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Policy at the Department of Transportation. He's going to kick off the morning. And really, the Office of the Undersecretary provides leadership in the development of policies for the department and provides advice regarding legislative regulatory initiatives across all modes of transportation. And in his role, he's responsible for coordinating departmental policy around emerging technologies, roadway safety, and vehicle automation. So he has nothing to do, basically. It's a fantastic portfolio, and you can imagine the interactions between government and industry in that space. And so it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Mr. Finch Fulton.